Okay, we're now ready to welcome our introduction by Dr. Liette Vasseur, Professor, Biological Sciences, UNESCO Chair on Community Sustainability, from Local to Global member, Environmental Sustainability Research Center, the ESRC, at Brock University. Introducing, well, I'll let you take the floor, Liette.
Thank you very much. So yeah, it's my great pleasure to introduce Doris Hiam-Galvez. She's from Hatch Company. And I should say, I have to put a little thing here. We had a great discussion when we met for the first time to prepare for this session. And really, when we think about passion, when we think about the importance of sustainability, the importance of diversification, all these words I can say can describe Doris and how she's trying to work on education, designing for sustainability, and really a transformation leader, trying to really get communities to build sustainable development in a different way. So I'm very happy to have her giving a speech today, and she will be able to present her view. And then there will be a bit some time for questions. So don't hesitate to put questions in the site so that we can have a discussion after. So Doris, I'm leaving you the floor.
Thank you, Liette, very much for the nice introduction. I'm really delighted to talk to our youth. So why I'm talking about education? Because I believe this is one way to tackle climate change and to solve the skill shortage we have in the industry. My work focus is really on implementing designing sustainable prosperity, which is a structured method to enable the creation of a future sustainable society in mining regions or any region that is dependent on extractive industry or any other city that depends on one or two commodities. Their economies depend on one or two commodities. And education is key requirement for the successful implementation of DSP. So I'll just spend a few minutes on DSP to give you an idea of what it is, and we'll continue with education. As shown in this graph, purchasing power of the local communities is represented on the vertical axis and time on the horizontal axis. Mines have a finite life, or oil in extractive industry can last 10, 20, 50 or more years. The red curve shows the impact of the mine on the local economy. As the mine goes to full production, some of the income is earned by the local people and their purchasing power increases. As the mine reaches the end of its life, jobs begin to disappear until there is less income. Of course, the preferred outcome is to at least maintain a livable level of economic activity that is also sustainable. The yellow curve shows another level of economic activity generated by the investment to support the mining industry. Suppliers, service companies, hotels, restaurants, tourists, the whole legal and financial structure to support the mining. This economic activity follows the same trend as mining, as the red. The yellow follows the same as the red, as you can see. So is the green curve what we want to achieve? And that's what the implementation of DSP brings. The community and the economy are catalyzed towards long-term prosperity by the mine. So the big shift is to move our attention from mining alone into the future regional prosperity that will benefit all. Working together for the future builds trust and eliminates conflict. The objective is to achieve a sufficiently diversified economy with enterprises that are ecologically sustainable so that it is more resistant to the ups and downs of the general economy. So how do we do it? It's a structured approach, practical approach with actionable items following 7 basic steps. So we begin building a platform of collaboration where intimately in partnership work communities, investors, government, knowledge experts, etc. Then we really use science, geoscience, and all kinds of data science to really integrate multidisciplines and build an integrated natural resource model, and that we call the facts, so that people have a really good idea of where they stand on and how the Earth was formed in the region, so they can be inspired into the process of DSP. Then we use these facts to align everyone into the possibilities for the region. And then once everybody's aligned, then we move into the deciding the products, services, technologies ideally suited to the region, those that will become the pillars of the future economy, in addition to the mining activity. So these enterprises must meet high standards of sustainability, protect the environment, and improve the quality of life. And most of these solutions we study are nature-based solutions, because there is a need and there is financing to protect forests, healthy biodiversity, lakes, and so on. Then we build a plan. And once we know what's possible for the region, we then adapt the educational system to provide the skills and tools to support the future of the diverse economy, so that there's jobs for the people in the region. So with DSP, we look at all levels of education, from formal schooling to skills training, and it's not the current education system. And I will elaborate more on that. We need the constructive thought process, learning from nature and living in curiosity and wonder. I've been looking at innovative ways of learning, and I came across to a neuroscientist, world-renowned in the study of perception, who is working in changing the way our students learn by being a scientist and doing science instead of memorizing facts. So we will have 100 schools from all over Canada connected for 1 week science experience in the spring next year. And I will talk a little bit more about this, of course. Animals learn by playing. So these students will be doing science by playing with intention and celebrate uncertainty, encourage diversity, open to possibilities, cooperate, and be intrinsically motivated. This neuroscientist guided 8-year-old students and teachers to study specific aspects of behavior. And they discovered something new and published a paper in a peer-reviewed journal. The introduction of the paper starts with once upon a time, and the principal finding, as you can read, we discovered that bumblebees can use a combination of color and spatial relationships in deciding which color of flower to forage from. But also you can read the rest. They discover that science is cool and fun because you get to do stuff that no one has ever done before. And also one of the authors became the youngest TED Talk speaker. Our 1 week experience of the iScientists will be with 14 and 15-year-olds from all 10 provinces and 3 territories in Canada in the spring of 2023. It is like LIAMforum is free and virtual. We are now recruiting the most innovative and inspiring science teachers and their classes to take part in this 1 week experience. We will be working with this neuroscientist I mentioned, learning how to think. The objective is to infuse the love of learning and the love of science and tackle the issues I described. We need a higher level of innovation to tackle the complex climate change issues. But also, as I said before, we have a huge shortage of skills in our industry and any other industry. So we need to bring a lot more people into the pipeline. So if you know innovative and inspiring teachers, please contact them and let them know about this program, or contact me via email or social media. So this is our first phase, this 100 school 1 week experience next year. The next phase is developing the material for train all teachers for all levels of schooling and to be available for the whole world. It's going to take us 3 years. So it's changing the way our students learn. But as I say, by doing, living, loving, and tackle the difficult problems we're living with. So this is creative science for the planet. And you, all the young people, are the future, and the future is creative science. Thank you. Here's my email, and you can also find me in social media.
Thank you very much. It's quite inspiring, and I'm hoping that several people are inspired by that. I'm just going to wait a bit. If you have any question, don't hesitate to put it in the chat so that we can ask. I'm very curious about one aspect that you mentioned, that is the facts, and you talk about how the earth has been formed, and how would you go to explain that to a community that is already, I would say, assuming too much about their location?
Okay, very well. So we really, DSP goes beyond the mind, focuses on the region. So because right now the mining is the target, is the only business in town, and no matter what they do, good or bad, they're always bad. And it's conflict because the target is one player. So it's one against everyone against one. So when we move the attention to the region, then everybody works together for the common good. So there should be, trust and less conflict. So why we use, first, we identify key players who are interested in making a difference in their regions. Could be a mining company, could be the main investor, could be university, could be the government, it doesn't matter, or community. Then, most economic development studies are done with trends and what we see, where the water is, where the density of people are, and so on. So the difference here we're bringing is we use geoscience to figure out 2,000 meters deep how the earth was formed in the region, to determine new sources of water, new sources of energy, even soil quality. So it's the biggest issue we found is water. And even in water-rich regions or water scarcity regions, they don't comprehend the whole water system. And it's underground and surface, so that we can account for each drop of water, how it's used, recharge, and so on. So and then bringing this information and how the earth was formed also gives you an idea, where the mineral systems are. Even for decisions of infrastructure, even a pipeline or railroad, you should know what's underground. So that's really the difference here. We are promoting using geoscience and all that exists for other applications, for decisions on everyday life. But also, it's inspiring to the locals, see the region's hidden potential. And then we get inspired with this to go into the design. So that's and then helps align everyone, because we're not arguing people's opinion, we are dealing with science. Yeah, it's complex because once we do the underground, we put the surface and climate, it's complex, but we simplify so that everybody can work in it. So it's like the magic potion, gets everyone dreaming, and then we start from there.
Yeah, so what are the most valuable skill sets that you have to acquire to be successful in the industry, and the role of DSP? Because what you're talking about is really bring a lot for me of interdisciplinary components as well.
Yes, very good question. For example, we have a skill shortage in the industry, but also every other industry. Then we have many efforts for years to figure out what skills will be needed in the future. How do we find out what skills will be needed in the future? So that comes DSP nicely into it, because with DSP, we figure out what will be the future pillars of the economy of the region, and therefore, plan how to transition from the current pillars of the economy into the future pillars of the economy. But also in designing the future pillars of the economy, we take in account the current skills, talents, culture, societal issues, and so on. So DSP comes handy to figure out what will be needed in the future, and it's different for each region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is something to keep always in mind in some way, the differences and all that. And I was on the website of your company, and I was very impressed by one thing, is your statement for modern slavery, ethics, indigenous people, and all that, and how you're trying to be very inclusive in some way. And so how do these people can really get noticed from your company side, from the industry, to really be able to to be hired at one point, or to be able to participate?
Yeah, we are Canadian, but we are truly global. So I've been working for 16 years with this company, and whichever you go to Mississauga, and then there's just people from all over the world. It's truly diverse, and because we need, we believe we are more innovative engineering companies, because we get hired for these complex things. Some technologies doesn't work, and they call us to jump in the lake and fix it. So we're specialized on the difficult stuff. We have no marketing. We sell very little, but we really get called for the difficult stuff. And also we develop technologies when they are not available. So we are truly diverse, and we really focus on our young people. We treat them like kings, we expose them to all the cool stuff you do in leadership. So we really take care of our youth, and I personally spend most of my time with the young people, because, as you say, I'm a transformational leader. Only the young people follow me. When it's tough, they are there. And then when it works, you gain some part of the company, but not all, because people resist change. But the youth, it's our future. We love them very much. And, anyone can contact us. We publish our jobs, and we are in every country in the world. I believe we have offices all over, so you can look at us. We don't advertise a lot, but we are looking for the brightest minds, for the creative minds, to tackle the biggest problems we are dealing in this world and the future.
Which is very important, especially for sustainability of our world right now. That's for sure. One little question that I wanted to ask you: do you think that 14 and 15 years old is too late to try to infuse this love for science, especially when we think about the mining industry and all that? The reason I'm asking that is because there have been quite a lot of research, and I've been quite a lot in contact with women in science, for example, that are showing that it's almost too late by that point, because they really get influenced more around the age of 10, 11, 12 years old. So what do you think? Why the 14, 15?
Yeah, good question. Two reasons. We have picked, this is just one real experience, our first experience in Canada for the whole country, but we're developing for all the way from kindergarten all the way to university. So that's the next phase. This is the first phase is just 1 week experience we want to do with the whole country. We pick 14, 15 before they select their higher level science. So, and also the 14, 15, we hear from teachers, they are a little bit in the dark ages, so we can have their time. So to go, because we need their time for a whole week to work with the teachers and them. But also, I think that's a vulnerable age. I think if we can inspire them, if we can ignite their fire at that time, I think it is the hardest age to do, but we decided to do this experience with them next year in the spring.
So that will be interesting. I'm looking forward to see what will happen. Yeah. So are you fundraising for that, or how does it work to be able to support this?
Yeah, actually, I was chair for the CIM convention in this year in BC. And one of the outcomes for that convention was education. And our opening keynote was this neuroscientist. So we will be working with CIM for 3 years in education. And so I set up a fundraising for this 1 week experience, and a mining company just gave the money before I went to my fundraising event. So that's the reason I jumped quickly to the second phase, which is I'm raising funds for the second phase, but also I'm still raising for the 1 week experience, because there are some schools they might need some help, so we'll have some funds to help them. But also we have to do direct translation to French, so we don't lose Quebec. So we are still collecting the monies through the CIM Foundation, which is the Canadian Institute of Mining, so that we can, do this successful first step in
Great.
Canada.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I guess it will be really stay tuned for the results and the activities. I'm hoping that you will be able to have a website or something that people can follow a little bit what is happening with all these schools, because it may inspire a lot more high school, and it may even help to change probably, or what I would call modernize the curriculum, the science curriculum in many schools.
Yeah, first I will post on my LinkedIn this week, because just to get the word out to the mining, because my network's mining, for them to have a chance to, think about their inspiring, innovative teachers that they can give the word out for everybody to share from there. So I'm going to put the word this week, and then the neuroscientists will put a platform for the teachers to connect.
Oh, great.
So we have. So I would just share with the mining this week, and then also we'll advertise to CIM and the mining community. But so you guys get to hear this first. This is the first time I talk about this.
This is great. I should say that I'm looking forward for all that, and thank you very much. It's already the time that we had. We could have been talking for a lot longer, but thank you very much for your inspiring talk today. And I'm just looking forward to see how these projects will really get spread across the world. I think it's what we call a sea change in some way, and that's important. So thank you again for this event and this session today.
Thank you very much.